Welcome back to 30 at 6 on Cecil TV. I'm Alison Donnelly, and today is Monday, August 19th.
Howdy, Alison. Howdy, Cecil County and the world. I'm Rob Churnside, and I just got back from Colorado.
And are you a cowboy now?
I don't want to go full cowboy, but I'm getting started.
Okay.
We had a great time out there.
Yeah, so what did you do?
Well, we had a wedding, family wedding, but we also went to this place.
Ah,
You know that?
The hotel from The Shining.
That's right. I bet you don't know the name.
I bet you don't know the name.
It's same as the name of my hammer, I think, but I can't remember.
Well, the interior is the Ahwahnee Hotel in Yosemite. That's not this particular hotel, but the inside of where it's actually filmed. The exterior is the Timberline Lodge in Mount Hood in Oregon. This is the Stanley Hotel, which inspired.
It just hit me on the head like a hammer. I remembered. The Stanley. Yes, and it was cool. We didn't go there because it cost $10.
Ah.
We wanted to go
smart.
hiking in the Rockies, and it was fun. It was fun. Found a lot of rocks. And so what did I miss when I was gone?
Well, as you know, there were some issues between Rising Sun and the county. The Rising Sun wanted to extend its water water and sewer plan beyond its borders, and the main justification for that was that West Nottingham Academy and Rising Sun Elementary School had high nitrate levels in their water. Last week we learned that both of those water lines are okay, and so the town has now deferred back to the county master plan, and that's how we'll move forward.
So they withdrew those reasons of high
Yes.
nitrates, and that's nothing to mess around with. But
No.
we still basically have the enterprise zone down here and kind of rural zone here with little spots like the town water and Rising Sun,
Yeah.
and port and stuff like that.
Yes.
So it's kind of in keeping with the overall plan then still.
Yeah. So I guess we're on track. And then today we had the groundbreaking at Chesapeake Elementary School, the Chesapeake City Elementary School, and that school has been there for about 80 years. So we'll have a brand new school soon.
Oh wow! So the old school is 80 years old. And now they're going to shiny new school.
I know.
South
it's
side or
exciting.
north side? Do you know?
I don't know.
As long as the bridge holds up, kids will be getting to school.
Yes.
Anything else?
Well, we have an interesting show tonight. We met with retired Sergeant Andrew Cragle. He was a Cecil County Sheriff's Office sergeant of 28 years, and he is seeking a new kidney. He is doing peritoneal dialysis 4 times a day, and so we interviewed him, and we'll be airing that story on tonight's show. And then we'll also be covering the public hearing for the general obligation bond authorization, which there's been some conflict between different sides of the issue, and that will take place within the legislative session meeting tomorrow evening at the County Administration Building.
Wow, there's a lot going on since I left and coming back into Cecil County, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, and then we've got some studio guests tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to Sam Goldwater, talking about fire prevention and fire prevention history and all kinds of good stuff happening right here in Elkton.
Exciting.
One more quiz for you.
Oh, we have one more guest, though.
Oh, yeah.
We also have our very own Mike talking about a podcast that he is working on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have a rattlesnake in this bag.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm going to show you what I have, Alison, and you make your selection. Here's the quiz. I have 4 rocks here.
Are these from your hike?
3 are from the hike and one's from the store. Which one do you think is a geode? Geode being a rock that has like a crystal cave inside of it.
I think this one is the geode.
Well, using the magic of television, we're going to crack it open, but not here on this table.
No, let's not do that.
All right, Stanley, down.
Well, yes. Looking forward to finding out which one is the real one.
Okay. The answer will be revealed.
Yes. Stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages.
Cecil TV sat down with Andy Cragle recently to talk about his life, his career as a sheriff's deputy, and at age 68, the situation he now faces. Andy, who resides in Elkton, is retired from 28 years of service with the Cecil County Sheriff's Office. Within the past year, he was diagnosed with renal failure and is currently on home dialysis. His hope is to find a kidney donor and receive a transplant.
My name's Andrew Cragle. I'm 68 years old, live in Elkton, Maryland, and I'm a retired sergeant from the Cecil County Sheriff's Office. I started working for the Sheriff's Office in 1978, and I retired in 2007. Well, when I first started with the Sheriff's Office, we had thefts, domestics, and a lot of bar fights. Over the years, burglaries, drugs in the county have become unbelievably heavy. The job has changed a whole lot, and the way people react to law enforcement has changed a whole lot, because back when I started, you could arrest someone and a couple days later you'd get a phone call. They'd be apologizing for the way they acted. Today, there's a large lack of respect for law enforcement. I was diagnosed with renal failure, bad kidneys, within the past year. Recently, within the past 3.5 weeks, I've started what they call PD dialysis, which is where they put a catheter through your abdomen, and you can actually do the PD dialysis at home instead of, in lieu of hemodialysis, which is going to a dialysis center. What I'm doing right now is called the manual way to do it, which is what they teach you before they give you what they call a recycler, a machine, which you hook yourself up to every night and unhook in the morning. You have to learn both ways in case the electric goes out, and you have to do the manual.
So how do you?
I'm hopeful for a transplant. What I've done is I've gone to the Christiana Transplant Center at Christiana Hospital, and they put you through a lot of testing before they will tell you that you're eligible for a transplant. Once you're eligible for the transplant, it can be 5 to 7 years before a kidney becomes available. If you can find a kidney donor, in my case, it would have to be someone who has type A or type O blood for their kidney to be compatible with me. It can happen much sooner.
Right.
For a kidney donor, does not cost them anything. They would go through the same testing that I went through to make sure that everything would be okay for them to donate one of their kidneys, and the cost to them would be zero. Say someone would be interested in being a donor for me, the best thing to do would be to contact me, and I would contact the transplant center, and we'd make an appointment to go up, and everything would be explained to them by the professionals. My wife and I have a garden out back. We have fun with that. My wife is into canning tomatoes, and I help her. We do quite well at that. I like to hunt, like to fish. We have fun with, well, we have 2 grandsons and a granddaughter, and the grandsons, who are 5 and 7, past couple of years we've taken them on vacation with us every year. We have a good time with them.
Where do you like to go?
Well, this year we went down to the upper end of the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia, around Mount Jackson. Last year we went up to the Poconos. We own 2 units in northern end of the Shenandoah Valley, and we go there some years and we trade them and go. I'm easy to get along with. Wherever the family wants to go, that's where we go. I was born and raised in northeastern Pennsylvania. Basically at the edge of the Poconos, about 36 miles outside of Wilkes-Barre. I came down here because I had a second cousin who worked for Elkton Police Department. Who he was up home visiting one time. We got into a conversation, and I told him I had been thinking about getting in law enforcement, and he told me about the sheriff's office down here. So I studied it a little bit and decided, gee, that's a place that's going to grow. So I put in an application and was called down for an interview, went home. A couple weeks later, I was called back for a second interview, and after that interview, the sheriff, Jack DeWitt, told me that he had a position open. If I wanted it, it was mine, and I took it.
Just like that.
Never looked back, and enjoyed it. Enjoyed helping people.
And now, welcome, Cecil County and the world. Cecil TV, 30 at 6, Sam Goldwater. Sam, welcome to Cecil TV.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. Sam, you are involved with the National Fire Heritage Center. Tell us a little bit about that organization and its mission.
The National Fire Heritage Center, as it sounds, is a national organization. We're based in Emmitsburg, Maryland, and our job is to protect the perishable items that are related to the fire service in America, whether it's the written word, artwork, video, audio, anything that is perishable, historic pieces.
Wow, and you actually have a position in that organization, correct?
Yes, I'm the chair of the Board of Trustees for the National Fire Heritage Center.
Wow, and there are others involved locally too, right?
Yes, Cecil County is unique in that we have 3 members of our board that are Cecil Countyans. It's the only county in the United States that's represented by 3 people in the National Fire Heritage Center.
Wow. And rumor has it that your Heritage Center, in conjunction with the Singerly Fire Company and one other organization whose name escapes me, are having an event.
Yes, this Friday and Saturday, the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, which serves the families of fallen firefighters, the National Fire Heritage Center, and the Singerly Fire Company have joined forces to produce a fire muster, which is a collection of antique fire apparatus here in Elkton and Cecil County. And on Friday night, it's open to the public, and they're blocking off in Elkton, North Street, and Main Street. And there'll be a live band, there'll be food, alcohol will be served on the street because the streets will be closed. And it should be a good time for a lot of people to see antique fire trucks, meet a bunch of firefighters, American heroes, and the public is certainly welcome to come out.
And that's Friday night.
That's Friday night. Then on Saturday at the fire station on Newark Avenue in Elkton, which is the big fire station, if you're familiar with the fire stations in Elkton, there's going to be a muster, again, of the antique fire trucks, and they'll be judged. We have professional judges coming in that's what they do. They go to different events and they judge fire apparatus. And there'll be fire apparatus from as far away as North Carolina, Tennessee, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, pretty much everything between North Carolina and New York. There'll be fire apparatus there. We also had the fire modelers will be there. These are very detailed models of fire apparatus. They're in HO scale, generally speaking, and they're really cool. They're works of art in and of themselves. There'll be 20 tables of those.
And some are for sale, right, Sam?
Generally, they're not for sale. These are collectors.
Oh, okay.
They're just kind of to look at. I'm sure if you wanted to buy one, everything has a price. But generally speaking, they're there to look at.
But you have a flea market then as well?
But then there's a flea market, and the flea market is fire-related stuff. So if you have an antique fire truck, or you're a firefighter, or have a relative that's a firefighter, and you wanted to get some fire stuff to put in that man cave or that ladies' cave, then you could go there and you could pick up an antique piece of a lighting or a piece of a fire truck that you could hang on a wall or put on a table or whatever. And that's all open to the public. It's free. And there'll also be food and beverages there as well.
Nice. And I believe you mentioned as we were talking earlier that there's going to be 4 world-class authors.
Yes, there'll be 4 world-class authors, both nonfiction and fiction, and they'll be there autographing their books, and their books will be available to purchase. And so people who collect books, which I'm one of those people, collecting autographed books is kind of a big deal for people who collect books. And so you'll be able to meet the author, talk to the author, and one of the authors, this is really cool because of the anniversary of the Apollo program. One of the authors was on the original astronaut rescue teams for Apollo and Skylab. And he's written a book that's, unfortunately, it's not out yet, but you'll be able to pre-buy that book, and when you get it, it will be autographed for you. And this is all about the rescue program for NASA and Skylab and the Apollo program. It's going to be a really, really cool book.
Yeah, and these authors will be there. There's going to be, you had mentioned also something about helping with kids and identification.
Yes, the Mason Lodge is sponsoring a CHIPS program. This is a program for children, children identification program. And what they do is they collect from your child or children all the pertinent information. They'll have a picture of your child, fingerprints of your child, all the things that eye color, and all the things that you would need that if something went terribly wrong, God forbid it doesn't, but if something went terribly wrong and you needed to give that information to the police department, during that time of stress, you don't want to have to come up with all that information.
Right, sure.
You just give the police department a memory stick and it's got all the information already on it.
Well, that's awesome. All this stuff going on. But what's the admission cost?
It's all free to the public. Of course, you got to pay for food if you want some food, but other than that, it's free. So it's 2 great events, one downtown and one at the fire station, and it's all free to the public.
That sounds great, Sam. Now I gave Alison a little quiz. Let me see, you're hep up on fire prevention and fire prevention history. Who was the first fire chief in the United States?
Benjamin Franklin was the first fire chief of the United States.
That's one for Sam.
A lot of Benjamin Franklin was a firefighter. George Washington was a firefighter. Thomas Jefferson was a firefighter. All the founders of our country were firefighters at one point in their life.
Awesome. Okay, one more.
Go.
What's a plug ugly?
Okay, plug ugly. Most people think it's plug ugly or pug ugly. They think it's the little dog.
Right.
But the term is actually in reference to back when fire departments competed to be the first ones to put water on the fire, and they would send their biggest, ugliest guy to go and protect the fire hydrant so that they could hook up to the fire hydrant and be the first ones to put water on the fire. Because back when the insurance industry ran the fire service in America, only the people who put the water on first got paid.
How about that? A wealth of fire prevention history. It would be great if, as you were discussing earlier, that maybe your headquarters is now in Pennsylvania. Is there a possibility
No,
it might
it's in
move to
Emmitsburg, Maryland now.
Oh, Emmitsburg, okay.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility it might move to Elkton?
We're talking to the town of Elkton and others, Wilmington, Delaware is another one, to move our headquarters from Emmitsburg, Maryland to Cecil County. And we're specifically looking at 3 sites in Cecil County, actually. But the number 1 site is the Armory building in Elkton.
The old gray stone armory right there.
Yeah, it's a great old building. You know, we're a history organization, and so part of what we would do with that building is protect its history. So it's kind of exciting, because I grew up a block away from that building.
That's awesome. I hope it comes to fruition. That'd be great. This weekend, again, tell the folks what they need to know.
Downtown on Friday night, the intersection of Main Street and North Street, open to the public. There'll be 3 bars. There'll be a brewery. There's multiple restaurants. There'll be a whole bunch of fire trucks for the kids to look at. They can climb on them. They can get in them. Every once in a while we let them blow the siren and blow the horn, but people kind of get upset after a while.
Right.
But they'll be able to crawl all over the fire trucks and look at them and learn about what firefighters are all about. And then also the firefighters here in Cecil County, it's an opportunity for them all to get together in one place and interact as well.
And Saturday at the firehouse, right?
And then Saturday at the firehouse will be the muster, which is the antique fire trucks. There's the modelers. There'll be 20 tables of those. There'll be a flea market. There'll be book signing, and there'll be lots of food.
Sounds like a plan, Sam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, viewers, Alison passed the Shining Hotel quiz with flying colors, and I asked her to select the geode from these 4 rocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. She selected number 3. Instructions on the geode that I bought said to put it in a bag and crack it. Didn't crack. It's not the geode. This is the one I bought at Rocky Mountain Park for $4.99. It said there's an 80% chance of this being a geode. Let's crack it. It was a geode. Look at those shiny crystals, ladies and gentlemen. I recommend a trip out west.
Welcome back to 30 at 6. Our very own Mike Collins has emerged from the other side of the camera to talk to us about...
Hi, Alison.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
So you are the producer of the Funny Farm Theater.
Yes.
And you are looking to produce an audio drama or podcast.
Yes, I am.
Tell us about that.
Well, it's called Welcome to Station KHLP. And I'm looking for a director to work with actors, voice actors, to produce those episodes that I have written. And we've got a year's worth of episodes currently written, and we're ready to start recording. We have the facility, and now I'm looking for, like I said, a director and some other voice actors.
What kind of qualifications would the right people need to have?
They need to be able to emote. They need to be able to read well. They need to be able to take direction, and they need to have the available time to put in.
Will you tell us a bit about the storyline?
Okay. The basic conceit is that there is a struggling little FM radio station out in the hinterlands, and owned by a gentleman who has numerous business interests. And when his granddaughter graduates with a degree in business, she uses that little station as an example and builds a program around it. And at her graduation party, her grandfather calls her in and says, "How would you like to implement your plan?" And she says, "Are you kidding?" He says, "No." And so we have a young girl who brings her friend along with her, Nina and Dee, and they go out to this little radio station, and there's a gentleman who has been running the station on a shoestring for years, and a couple of DJs who never quite made it big time. And so they bring their ideas to bear on this station where you have gentlemen that have been running it for years, and they kind of do things in their own way.
Right.
So you have a juxtaposition of old and new, and we have the internet that comes into play. So a lot of comedy, maybe a little bit of love interest there.
Oh.
So a little bit of everything.
So about how many voice actors are you looking for?
I need a dozen, maybe more. There's always new characters coming on board. Right now, I'd really love to find somebody that sounds like Truman Capote.
Okay.
That's not an easy thing to find.
No, it's not.
he was an odd duck. So we have these two young women, probably in their early 20s, Nina and Dee. We have Tech, who's a California guy. We have Ed, who's been running the radio station for years.
Right.
So he's a little older. We have Billy Bowers, who I just love Billy. She runs a farm supply and negligee store.
Of course. I can't imagine two things that go better
goes
together.
better together, right? And she is always at the VFW in town for all of the dances.
Right.
So she's the kind of a gal that has her hair shoved up underneath a John Deere cap and dirty boots on during the day, and then shows up at the VFW dance in the evening with her hair done and feather earrings and heels and a dress.
She sounds great.
I love Billy Bowers. I think she's a great character. So those are just a few of the characters, and there are others.
Yeah, that sounds great. So remind our viewers the Funny Farm Theater. Who are you? Who is it?
Funny Farm Theater is the home for the Fanatics, which is an improv troupe. And then I'm trying to produce this audio drama there as well. And we do house shows there every 6 or 8 weeks. We do improv shows there. And it's located at 919 Bouchelle Road. We do house parties, so they're free.
Oh, yeah.
It's done up like a little club, little 4-spot tables. And usually we open the doors about 6:30, 7 o'clock, and on a Friday and Saturday night, and we have big fun.
Cool. So how can people learn more and reach out to you if they're interested?
The way to contact me and the way to find out about the Fanatics is to go to our Facebook page at The Funny Farm Theater.
Okay. So calling all voice actors and directors interested in producing an audio drama.
Yes.
Mike Collins from the Funny Farm Theater. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Allison.
Folks, Rob here, Cecil TV. Where would we be without our first responders, paramedics, police, firefighters? We honor our firefighters once a year in Fire Prevention Month in October, but we should probably honor them all year round because they're everyday heroes. Song I wrote when I was handed a pack of matches by my young son, about the age of 3. He told me, matches are dangerous. I said, there's a song right there, a song with a message. Matches are dangerous and they're not toys. It can hurt little girls and boys. Matches are dangerous and this I've found. Don't leave matches laying around. You know, little Johnny Jones had a house in town. Didn't tell mom and dad what he'd found. Lit him a match while sitting on the couch and it burned his finger. He went, ouch. Yeah, that match that Johnny dropped inside the couch, it wasn't out. And then it burned right through the cover. to that stuffing of the couch. And that little fire got bigger, and that bigger fire got huge. Well, pretty soon the smoke and flames filled up his living room. Yeah, matches are dangerous and they're not toys. They can hurt little girls and boys. Matches are dangerous and this I've found. Don't leave matches laying around. Fire and spread, fire and spread, fire and spread from the living room to the dining room and the kitchen too. Johnny and his folks were trapped inside. Johnny thought they'd surely die. Yeah, but then Daddy pulled him to the floor and said, boy, keep down low. The air is better near the floor, there isn't so much smoke. Now, if your clothes they catch on fire, don't run, you gotta roll. And if we make it safe outside, I think that then you'll know. Yeah, matches are dangerous and they're not toys. They can hurt little girls and boys. Matches are dangerous and this I've found. Don't leave matches laying around. Yeah, the smoke was getting thicker and the flames was getting hot. And then a face came through the window and that fireman said, get up. Well, they climbed his ladder to the ground and safely on the dirt. That fireman looked him in the eye and then he said these words. Yeah, matches are dangerous and they're not toys. They can hurt little girls and boys. Matches are dangerous and this I've found. Don't leave matches laying around. Now, friends, don't burn your houses down like little Johnny did. Yes, 'cause fire was meant for moms and dads and not for little kids. Hey, give your parents every match and lighter that you see. Oh, they'll thank you and they'll keep you safe so you can sing with me. Yeah, matches are dangerous and they're not toys. They can hurt little girls and boys. Matches are dangerous and this I've found. Don't leave matches laying around. Ah, now don't leave matches laying around. Now don't leave matches laying around, 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 around. Beep, 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 and change the batteries of your smoke detectors too.